Hey everybody, what is going on? My name is Raven and welcome back to my channel. Now today we're going to be talking about Edward Gein, or Ed Gein? Gein. I'm going to go with Gein. So for those of you who do not know who he is also known as the Butcher of Plainfield or the Plainfield Ghost. Now he was the inspiration for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. For those of you that have never seen that, it's a pretty good horror movie. Now, Ed Gein was born August 27th, 1906. Now, he was very interesting convicted murderer. And not only did he commit murder, he also would dig up corpses and would take from them. So he basically mutilated corpses, which is horrible. Now, normally in a case like this, I would talk about a little bit from their childhood, a little bit from when they were growing up, things like that. But because this man has so many crimes against him, I'm going to go right into that. So, on the morning of November 16th, 1957, the store owner of the Plainfield hardware store, now the owner's name was Bernice Warden. A resident reported that the hardware store's truck had been driven out from the rear of the building at around 9:30 in the morning. Bernice's son, Deputy Sheriff Frank Warden, entered the store around 5 p.m. to find that the cash register had been opened and bloodstains were on the floor. Now, this part is a little bit disturbing, so if you do not want to listen to this, there's just a little bit here. All of his crimes I'm going to do now, so basically if things are uncomfortable for you, go ahead and skip this little bit. So they did find Frank Warden's mother. Her body was found in one of Gein's sheds, one of the sheds on his property. And she was hanging upside down by her legs with a crossbar at her ankles and ropes at her wrist. Her torso was quote-unquote dressed out like a deer, so she was gutted. And she had been shot with a .22 caliber rifle. And mutilations were made to her body. I do not know what mutilations had happened, but that's still disturbing either way. Now, when authorities were searching the house, this is what they have found besides Frank Warden's mother, Bernice. Whole human bones and fragments are found. A wastebasket made of human skin covering several chair seats, skulls on his bedpost, female skulls, some with the tops sewn off, bowls made from human skulls, a corset made from a female torso, skin from shoulders to the waist, leggings made from human leg skin, masks made from the skin of female heads, Mary Hogan's face mask in a paper bag, Mary Hogan's skull in a box, Bernice Warden's entire head in a burlap sack, Bernice Warden's heart in a plastic bag in front of Gein's potbelly stove, 9 vulvae in a shoebox, a young girl's dress and the vulvas of 2 females judged to have been about 15 years old, a belt made from female human nipples, 4 noses, a pair of lips on a window shade drawstring, a lampshade made from the skin of a human face, fingernails from female fingers. Okay, that is pretty much majority of it. I'm not going to go too much worse than that. But that is the crimes that he had been accused of. Which, a lot of you will probably agree with me. If not all of you will agree with me. That is horrible and disgusting. So the poor remains of all those people were photographed. They were sent to the state crime laboratory. And then they were properly disposed of. I don't know what that means. I'm hoping that they were reburied where they should have been. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Now, investigators questioned Gein, okay? He had said that he had made as many as 40 nocturnal visits to the 3 local graveyards to exhume recently buried bodies while he was in a daze-like state. On about 30 of those visits, he said he came out of the daze while in the cemetery, left the grave in good order, and returned empty-handed. On the other occasions, he dug up the graves of recently buried middle-aged women he thought resembled his mother, and took the bodies home where he tanned their skins to make his paraphernalia. He admitted to stealing from 9 graves. After his mother's death, he began to create a woman's suit so that he could become his mother, to literally crawl into her skin. I mean, just what do you say to that, you guys? Like, why Why? Now, he did deny having any sort of inappropriate contact with the bodies he exhumed. He said that they smelled bad, and that's why he didn't do anything. Now, Gein was also considered a suspect in several other unsolved cases in Wisconsin, including the 1953 disappearance of Evelyn Hartley. If you guys want me to do a video on that, make sure you let me know. So this also happened. So during questioning, the sheriff, Art Schlee, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, especially if you're related to him, reportedly assaulted Gein by banging his head and face into a brick wall. Now, it's only reportedly, okay? I'm hoping that if he did do that, that it was caught on video and that, you know, the truth can be taken to court, basically. Because you can't do that. As a result, the Gein's initial confession was ruled inadmissible. Basically meaning they can't use it. So that sheriff died of a heart failure at the age of 43 and 68 before Gein's trial. That must have sucked. Many of the people that didn't know that Art guy, the sheriff, said that he was so traumatized by the horror of Gein's crimes that he was in total fear, and that is what caused his death. Now, I don't know how much fear plays into your death. I'm sure it's possible if you made yourself so anxious and scared enough that it can cause problems. Which is why a lot of doctors do end up telling you that if you do have that kind of problem, you need to get it solved because it can have long-term effects. During his arraignment part of his trial, he pled not guilty by reason of insanity. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia and found mentally incompetent. Thus, he was told he was unfit for trial, basically. He was sent to the Central State Hospital for the Criminally Insane, which is now called the Dodge Correctional Institution, a maximum security facility in Wisconsin, and was later transferred to Mendota State Hospital in another area of Wisconsin. At the request of his defense team, Gein's trial was held without a jury, and the judge, Robert H. Gallmar, found him guilty by November 14th. A second trial had to deal with his sanity, if he was actually insane or not. After testimony by doctors for the prosecution and defense, they ruled that he was not insane and ordered him to be committed to the Central State Hospital for the Criminally Insane. So he's ordered to stay there, basically. So he spent the rest of his life in the mental hospital. Now, he did die in the Mendota Mental Hospital Institute due to a respiratory failure secondary to lung cancer on July 26, 1984. He was 77 years old. Now, this is something that no one should do to anyone, no matter if you are, in jail or you died in jail, whatever the case is. You should not do this. So, in 2001, the gravesite where him and his family were vandalized, and his gravestone was removed. So now, he is in an unmarked grave, which probably not the best thing. You never want to leave someone without a name on their grave, because if you believe in it, they can't come back and haunt you. Because now they're not at rest because their name is not to their body. But then again, people did that because they did not like the man, and I understand you don't like somebody, but do not pull someone's gravestone after they're dead. There's no reason for that. All you're doing is just vandalizing property at this point. Because now, while yes, he did something bad, he did something oh my god, like, his crimes are so disgusting. I understand why someone would want to do it. Because now he's in an unmarked grave, so no one can dig him up. But at the same time, his family is there too. So keep in mind, because he's buried in between his parents and his brother in his cemetery. Okay? Now, just because he is now in an unmarked grave, his body is still there. And the family that have been going to his gravesite and his parents' gravesite and his brother's know where he is. But I just don't think taking a gravestone from anybody's grave is a good idea. So that is the story of Ed Gein. If you guys liked the video, make sure to hit the like button before you go. Also, if you can, please go ahead and show some support and hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you are notified every single time I upload. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!